Skills National Football Show. What's going on in the Michael Irvin case? Love to know, because I told you this. I 1,000% support my friend Michael Irvin. And I will always. You guys have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, and I'm not at liberty to say that he's got personal issues going on with certain family issues, okay? That never happened. And for the NFL to jump the gun like that, boy, he gonna get him some money, man. Good for him. You should take these people who lie about people all the time on the internet and make all these crazy statements about somebody. People screw up, man, in their past. Okay? They do. But what you had, hey, I wonder if this would have happened. Because Michael Irvin had issues, isn't it crazy? You took Michael Irvin off the NFL Network desk. Brett Favre takes a state hostage and rips them off. People blow that off like it's no business. The poorest state in the United States of America, Brett Favre is taking funds from the poorest state in the United States, and no one's doing anything about it. And they're letting him walk like nothing's a big issue. Michael Irvin comes in, says hi to someone, and you smear his name. Okay? You smear his name. You don't see the media kicking the living shit out of Brett Favre and calling that guy a scumbag. Michael Irvin, who's had issues, I'm not going to lie, I have to and I will defend him. He's been my friend for 40 effing years. Michael Irvin is my brother. He's been on here, you know the whole deal. I've known Michael Irvin since he was 16 years old. 16. But because he's Michael Irvin, some issues, and he's black. God, there's your difference. I said to my aunt and I said to everybody I'd be cool on this, but I can't do it any longer. That guy's my friend. No, Michael Irvin's not my friend. Michael Irvin's my brother. I know that man, and I know what he's made of. It's funny. Some of you know the story. Okay. Michael Irvin used to run around Green Tree. They're practicing now, camp. Okay? They're running around camp. And it's funny, that place, Green Tree, means a lot to us. It's hallowed ground. It's where all of our championships were made, especially this time of the year. And that dude would be out there running around. He'd have like a Tone Loc, or he'd have one of them big giant stopwatches on. He used to come up to me, and he was 17 years old. Big Sills. Tell you something, man. 4'5", I'm a Hall of Famer. not All-American. Hall of Famer. Okay? He used to call him a Hall of Famer. And I'm like, I believe it, dude. Guy used to run a mile forward, backward. We're all out there watching me, Jerome, and all these guys, man. Shit, I played with so many legendary players. And this guy, man, I tell you this, Michael Irvin's the kind of guy you don't want to face, but he's the guy you want on your team. That's a foxhole, dude. Never turn his back on you. Michael Irvin's a foxhole dude, man. He is a foxhole guy. That's a guy you want, dog. Okay? That's right, Lambo. My toughest games were never on Saturdays at Miami. They were Monday through Friday. Hey, Jimmy's inside drills. Do you know he did that same shit at Dallas? That's why Dallas was so productive. He did that same shit when they didn't have all those lame-ass, baby-ass rules now they have for practicing. Why do you think Jimmy's teams were the youngest teams in the league? Because old guys couldn't play there. Man, they went after one another. We went after one another. Man, you're sitting there, man. You take your helmet off, man. After 3 hours of inside drill, Ones versus ones. All-American. Dude, do you know who the wideouts were on those teams? Blades, Perriman, and Irvin. And they were all in that drill too, blocking downfield. When we'd have these controlled scrimmages for 3 hours. I'm playing against Highsmith and Cleveland Gary and all these Testaverde, Kozar. It was incredible. My entire defensive line, we had Jerome would have been a Hall of Famer. Cortez Kennedy was. I recruited him. Crazy. It was just crazy, man. Crazy shit. By the way, I went on and I saw the hubbub. Respect for Penn State. I have respect for Penn State. Hey, big picking today. Back then, I didn't. But today, you know, maybe it's because I'm dumber today. Lucius the Show, thank you for saying Michael is being dragged because of his race and his past. Completely true. Hey, Lucius, white hosts are afraid to say that. Always remember that. Most hosts are afraid to say that. You know why? Because they don't want to pick a side. I pick a side. Right or wrong, I pick a side. Big Sills has no splinters sitting on the fence. Jameson goes, ESPN would cancel Sills. Of course they would. You know why? They can't control me. Let's move on. Self-indulgence is not a show. Hey, Jay, you don't have to pay $2 for that one. I should pay you for that. Stop saying nice things. Gonna make us like you. Oh. Hey, Jay, you don't have to pay me $2 for that one. Oh, man. What? So wait a minute. What other reason would it have been that Michael Irvin was taken off of the desk at the NFL Network? What other reason? He's black and he's had issues. What other place doesn't give a guy due process? And they moved him out of the hotel. I talked to Mike. Sills, I didn't do nothing. He goes, I didn't do nothing. I talked to her for 2 minutes. And I go, did you ask her to? He goes, are you kidding? There's cameras everywhere. I'm not, bro, you know what's going on at home? And I go, I believe, hey, Mike, you must forget some of the shit that you and me have been through at UM. Okay, you must have forgotten. He goes, no, I didn't forget. Please don't bring it up. I go, I never will. And I'll never bring it up on my show. But you don't remember coming to me and asking me for help? I did. Did I? Yes. Don't ever tell me I don't got your back. You got the wrong fucking guy. You know better than this. I know. Let it settle. Because they're going to owe you money, dog. You know how many times I bailed Michael Irvin out in Miami? Let's move on. So I'm reading online. Zeke, I said this yesterday to you guys. Zeke Elliott wants to be an Eagle. How about if you turn him into LeGarrette Blount? Don't you think Zeke? Hey, by the way, guys. By the way, How many touchdowns did Ezekiel Elliott have last year rushing? Hang on, Manster. Hang on. How many touchdowns did Zeke have? Just curious. How many touchdowns did he have rushing last year? Is he a 20-20 guy? Probably not. Wait a minute. Ezekiel Elliott had 11, 12 touchdowns last year? Shit. 12. So this guy still got a nose for the end zone. He ain't going to make $8 million. And don't you think he would have an ass with the Cowboys? Dude, can you – hey, Eagle fans, why don't you use the same energy you have hating on the Cowboys, taking one of Jerry's loved ones? Do you understand this is one of Jerry's love child? This is a love child of his. Hey, Zeke, Jerry hates you. We're the Eagles. We have so much respect for how you played. Come here. Come to Philly. Come on. Let's go beat Jerry's ass together. Come on, dude. You're going to love the environment in Philadelphia. Everybody is on the same page here. Shit, is there anybody in the room that's a former Buckeye? Huh, that's funny, isn't it? There's no Buckeyes on the Eagles. That's kind of funny that they don't have any Buckeyes. Right? Anybody, any Buckeyes on? Man, there's no Ohio State Buckeyes? No. Hey, Sway, I'm all for BJ. BJ Robinson, Boston Scott, and Zeke Elliott. Woo! Hey, with that old line and that offense, we'll see. Dude, I just got goosebumps. That means this. You guys would be back in the NFC title game. Screw Ohio State, Lambeau. I'm all right with that one, too. You stole one of our titles. You know what that is? That's a 7-minute. They throw 7-minute flags at the Fiesta Bowl. Can't have those Canes win another one. You got Zeke, BJ, and Scott running the ball. Man, wait a minute. Ezekiel Elliott for the goal line, like you had with LeGarrette Blount. You have a guy who wants to beat Dallas. Hey, get this. You got a guy who wants to beat Dallas more than some of the players on the Eagles would want to beat him. Yeah, and believe me, that Orlando Skander guy, is that his name? Yeah, I really love playing in Dallas, and you know the Eagles. And every time I hear that guy talking, man, he should shut his face, because there's no question when he played in Philadelphia, he loved being a Cowboy more. Okay? Zeke's legacy is in Dallas. But, dude, when you go back and you beat your guy and you beat Jerry Jones, what if the guys get hurt and Zeke goes for 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns? Dude, you could use all that energy against the Dallas Cowboys. That would be gold. That would be gold. Hey, Jameson, every time I hear that guy Scandrick talking about Philly, he makes me want to beat him up too. He does. Dude, you were in a great – one thing I'm going to say about the Eagle locker room, it's a great place to play. Because it looks like a lot of fun. Dallas is a sideshow. Dude, I don't want to go – hey, do you guys remember a dude by the name of LaMarcus Aldridge who played in San Antonio? You guys remember LaMarcus Aldridge? He was getting recruited by the Lakers, and the Lakers were taking him around Sunset Strip in L.A. Hey, you get to have all this, and, you're a Laker. And LaMarcus Aldridge goes like, I think he was in Portland, then he went to San Antonio, something like that. And he goes like this, man, I don't give a shit about Sunset Strip. I want to win ball games. Right? And they're taking him around. That's the problem with the Lakers now. People cover the Lakers and they're not going to make the play-in game. You cover a third team because why? LeBron's not even playing. And you cover a third team. I mean, you tune on Undisputed. Here's their show. LeBron, Lakers, Russell Westbrook, Cowboys, Dak, NFL. Good night. Right? That's all it is. Don't recruit me on the scenes. Recruit me on playing and winning. You watch this. When you go to Dallas, you become a TV star. When you go to Philly, you win ball games and NFC East titles. That's the difference between the Cowboys and the Eagles. It's been that way for 22 years. Did you hear what I said? You want to be a stupid TV star? You go to Dallas. You want to be a football player and win games? You go to Philly. And someone will go, what are you talking about? They don't win. They win games in Dallas? No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. Shit, Jalen Hurts has almost as many wins in the postseason now as the Cowboys have had in the last 28 years. Am I wrong? You can't even beat Brock Purdy. Dude, hey, you got it. And I'm an ex-Cowboy. I got to tell you guys. I won't lie to you, man. I'm getting a lot of information now from the Cowboys. And I gotta say this to you. I won't lie. You know Stephen Jones and I are dear friends. He's been on this show 3 times. I got a nice email from Tad, the director of communications. I won't tell you the significance of the email. Then I get a text message going, where do you think Zeke lands? Right then and there, I knew that Zeke had it. Let it be known that he had some interest in Philly. and you know who used to do this shit to me? Al Davis. Hey, what's that Charlie Gardner doing in Tampa? Al, you know I know Bruce Allen. He's like this. He goes, how's he look? How's Tim Brown look? How's that Ricky Dudley look? And I'm like, Al. Or it'd be like this. Sills. Hey, Big Sills, this is Fudgy. Can you please hold for Coach Davis? I'm in my morning show in Tampa. God rest his soul. I love Al Davis. Al wanted me to name my kid Danielle after him. We're sitting at the Palm. Hey, name her Alicia. Al, she's named after my grandfather. Oh, you didn't name her after you? I go, no, we named her after my grandpa. And so Al used to call me. Hey, what's Charlie Gardner looking like? I don't think he makes the team. I think he's done. How about that Ricky Dudley? That was Gruden's guy. He really liked that guy. I hated that guy out of Ohio State. He sucked. Al, man, what do you want me to do? Be a spy for you now? He goes, hey, have I not been somebody here for? And I go, look, I'm not trying to. But then Bruce Allen would call me. How many times did Al call you today? 5. He'd go, what? No, Bruce Allen, 45 years, man. These guys all do this. They all do this because I used to show up and the Bucks would let me come to camp when Gruden and Bruce Allen were there. And so I would be able to go into places, and I went to camp. They used to do it when I was in San Diego with the Chargers. I'd show up at camp all the time. Hey, what's going on down there? I can't do that, man. I'll give you some insight. Phillip Rivers wants a new deal. How do you know this, Al? How do you think do you think I know Jimmy Sexton? The guy, he's an agent. You think I know Jimmy Sexton? Jimmy Sexton told me Phillip wants a new $50 million deal. I'm going, all right. Dude, you put you in a position like that kind of shit. Why do you think you got that same crap going on in Philly? Right? That's right. Charlie Gardner's a Tennessee Volunteer guy. Yeah. Where's Michael Vick when you need him? Hurts is going to be expensive. That's why what some of these guys are saying to you here, you got to invest. How would you guys feel about having Zeke Elliott as Philadelphia Eagle? How would you feel about having him? Don't just say freaking no. Limited role? Why? You guys signed Brandon Graham back. Got to put him in a limited role. You gave a guy $10 million who needs to play more of a limited role. Wouldn't you guys like to stick it to Dallas? Dude, sticking it to Dallas and beating them is one thing. Sticking it to Dallas and beating them with one of their guys is a whole different thing. Plus, you know what you do with that? If he can contribute. I'm not just saying put him on the team just because put him on the team because it's a good FU back to Jerry. No, he's got to be productive. I'm not taking carries away from Gainwell because I want to stick it to Jerry because I want to put him on my roster. That's not what I'm talking about here. The Eagles don't do shit like that. The Cowboys do. They do that to players. They want to sign the Johnny Manziels of the world. Eagles have no interest in dudes like that. That's not how they do it. Zeke's lost all his burst. Hey, Bleed, you know what, though? LeGarrette Blount was never a 20-20 guy. After his first couple of years, they turned him into a red zone guy. Pay Elliot on his production in the red zone. He did have 12 touchdowns last year. That's nothing to sneeze at. And you just lost 12 touchdowns out of your running back position. I wouldn't just go no because he wore the star. I'd go no because I don't think he's got anything in the tank. If that's a conversation, that's a valid conversation piece. But to go because he wore the star, I want to use that fuel that kid may have left. Maybe he does have 1 year left. I'm not talking about signing Ezekiel Elliott to some 4-year contract at $7 million apiece. I'm talking about bringing this guy in to help Jalen. Here, think of this for a second. Can Zeke out every single thing that you guys do on offense from now on has to have the number one priority. Does he help Hurts? Not does he help the team. Does he help Jalen Hurts? The defense is a different story. Watch this. You know, I'm going to use a food analogy here. Your dinner's ready on the offensive side. Dinner's ready. Putting it out on the table. The only thing you have to do on that side of the offense or that side of the football team is put the silverware and the cups on the table and the soft drinks. On the defense, that thing ain't ready to eat yet. That's not ready yet. It won't be ready. Probably till November. That thing's going to have a little more cooking. Shit, you don't even know what you're going to eat over there yet. But in Philly, dinner's served on the offensive side. You're ready to rock. Hey, man, wings, let's hit it. Give me that blue cheese. I'm ready to roll, man. Give me that blue cheese, man. I'm eating all that as much as I possibly can, baby. I'm ready to rock. Defense is going to take a little more cooking. Zeke is a third back. Dude, are you under some impression that you think Gainwell's a great back? He's not. If we had Deuce Staley, Zeke would be on the Eagles because He loves power running. You got a power running team now. You lost the power kind of back. I don't know. Do you think Miles Sanders was a power back? I don't know. 1,300 yards is awful good, though. Okay. Blue cheese. I don't know, man. Whatever you eat with wings. That's what I eat with them. Linebackers, safeties, depth is where you still have issues on defense. Like I said, man, that defense is not going to resemble a unit until early November. I'll give it early November is when you start to see that thing look decent. Okay? That thing's got a long way to go. You got a long way to go. You don't even know the scheme you're playing yet. You have no idea what the scheme is. I'd love Zeke Elliott on the Eagles. It's funny. I'd like him on the Eagles, but I don't like him on the Cowboys because roles have to be finally established in Dallas. Dallas is 2 years. Do you understand something about the Cowboys and how slow they are to do things compared to what the Eagles do? The Cowboys are 2 years too late on Elliot. You could have got big value 2 years ago for him. Instead, what'd they do? They waited till the gas can was almost out of gas. Then move off him. That's dumb. I hate when organizations do that. Move the dude when he still has something in the tank. Why would I go like this? It's almost like that with Aaron Rodgers now in the Jets. There's two issues with Rodgers. Time, and does he have how much left? He doesn't have a lot of time, and how much does he have left? And you want to give a one-up for that. That's why the Jets are the Jets. Sorry, Jody. Sorry, Jody, but that's why the Jets are the Jets. Jets give him a 1 for a 39-year-old guy who's running out of fuel going around Daytona. How you doing? Typical Jet move. Instead of going and getting Lamar. Here, give me a 25-year-old MVP. Here's 2 1s. All my problems for the next 10 years in the AFC East are over. It's a dumb thing, man. I would never be in that conversation for Aaron Rodgers. At 39, holy cow. Dude, I am not bringing Bob Marley to New York on a 1-year deal, and I have to surrender first-round picks. Sorry, dude. You've been smoking that Jamaica green too much because I'm out on that. That ain't working for me. What do you mean, man? Nah, sorry, man. What are you talking about, man? I got 1 more year left. You want me to give up a 1 for a guy who lives in a hut in the offseason? This guy lives in a hut. And the only time you know he's alive, it's like the Pope. You know, when they're picking a pope and that white smoke comes out? We have a new pope. Aaron Rodgers is coming out of the hut. Rodgers is coming out of the hut. It's like, we have a pope. Dude, hey, man, I'm ready to play in New York or Newark, whatever. Dude, that's right, Yale. Make that run at the guy who makes more sense. Tell you what, I'm not giving you a 1. I'll give you 2 1s for the guy in Baltimore. All night long. And plus, you got Joe Douglas that knows how to build a team because he learned it from Howie and the Eagles. Oh, God. That team's just missing. If Lamar Jackson goes to the Jets, he's in the room with the rest of those AFC teams. You bring Aaron Rodgers in there, it's a freak show. You'll be down on 42nd Street going like this. Strip club. I don't know. Hey, man, I'm going to go back to my hut. You like my Bob Marley because I'm dear. My aunt asked me last night, how's Rohan doing? He's doing good. I'm going to see him soon. I love Rohan. Rohan's coming out to see me here. Been friends for about 30 years. Love the Marley family. Isn't it crazy? Big Sills is friends with the Marley family. I think Rohan's been on our program. I think Rohan's, yeah, right? Some of you that have been with me all the whole time. Rohan's been on the program. God, I love that guy. Marley family's cool and loaded. And you know what they do? They send me coffee. Whew. Yeah, man, they send me coffee. My wife loves her coffee too, man. Big Sills. There's no former hurricane. Will always be hurricanes. He's right. I love him, man. Bob Marley. I love Bob Marley, man. I love them. Like I said, I love the Marley family. No, Lambo, no was a Kane. He don't like that. He'll always be a Kane. I'm a Jamaican. Your accent's a bit off. Really? I'm an Italian. What do you want me to do? Hey, I sound like I'm from Jamaica, don't I? I got the face of Sicily. Tease. I got the face of Sicily. I tell my daughter that. My daughter goes, how come everybody thinks I'm Italian? I'm like, I mean, the name kind of gives it away, but dude, Zeke Elliott, go get it. Hey, see how much he wants. No. Sorry, Philly. I got to say this because he watches the show. Lenny's the only person my aunt will not allow back on the program because he's too disgusting. She's like, I never want that guy ever to come on ever again. Sorry, Lenny Dykstra can't come on. Mm-mm. No. And please don't show it to him. Please don't show it to him. Yeah, Lenny's Gigi. See, Gigi likes getting me in trouble. See, two things about Gigi. Gigi likes talking shit to me. He likes making fun of me. And he likes getting me in trouble. And he likes leading me down the bad road. See? Gigi, you're no good. Gigi, you're no good. Sills is high again. Why wouldn't I be? I'm talking sports. Why wouldn't I be? Free Lenny. Let's just go, Sills. No, you don't have the face of Sicily. You have the face of high cholesterol. You guys are all sick, pathetic, and useless. I don't care what anybody says, man. And see, everyone talks nice to you. You guys are sick, disgusting, and criminally not cool to me. Did I cry enough? Oh, okay. Cowboys. Woo! How about them boys? Have the boys closed the gap on the Eagles? The cornerback position. Do the Eagles still hold the edge? Yeah. That gap got closed, though. Pass rusher. Micah Parsons versus Hassan Reddick. Micah Parsons is a better player. Hassan's a better pass rusher. He's a better pass rusher. I think so. He proved it to me. He is. Micah's a better player, though, because he can do more. He's a better tackler, and he can cover. Hassan can't do any of that. But a pass rusher, though. But to be fair to Reddick, it's not why they pay him. They don't pay him to cover running backs. They pay him to rush the passer. And he was exceptionally productive last year. So does it make it close? Yeah. Makes it close. Okay, makes it close. How about defensive front? Well, they got two quality guys. If you count Michael Parsons as a front dude with the end in him. See, last year, it was more of a collection of who was the best. That's a great question. Who was the best defensive lineman the Eagles had last year? Reddick, Sweat, Graham, Fletcher? Or maybe the better question is, who was the most important player on the Eagles defensive line last year? Who was the most important player on the Eagles D-line last year? Was it Hargrave? Shit, you could even expand that question into this one. Who had the biggest impact on defense last year? The two corners? CJ, Hargrave, Graham, Sweat. Man, I'm starting to love Josh Sweat a lot. I am a lot. I'm starting to like him a lot. Starting to like him a lot. You know, I thought, how about this? Robert, to be fair to Jordan Davis, I thought he started off okay. I thought he was getting a little better. Then he got hurt, slowed him up, never the same. I thought he was trending up. But then all of a sudden, when he got hurt, he was never able to beat out the two old guys in the middle, Joseph and Sue. He was never able to get more playing time than them. Can't beat two 36-year-old guys out? You're the 13th pick? That's a problem. And watch this. Here's why Jordan Davis, and I'm down on Jordan Davis. I didn't call him a bust. And please, no one say I did, because I didn't. But here's the problem. You gave Fletcher $10 million. He was never able to beat out two 36-year-old dudes. Albeit those guys were brought in to do. But see, when people say this, Sills, Sue and Joseph were some of the best D tackles in the NFL. True. But Linval Joseph was no pass rushing demon. He was a run stopper. Sue's a borderline Hall of Famer. He'll be debated for the Hall of Fame. There's no doubt. He's one of the elite guys. When Sue went to Miami, he made $20 million a year. That was like 5 years ago. Okay? That was like 5 years ago. He made $20 million in Miami. Funny, Miami's defense got worse when he got there. They got a Super Bowl ring, I think, in Los Angeles with the Rams, and then he got another one with the Bucs. But his most productive years were in Detroit. He had 11 sacks or 12 sacks one year, 10 sacks. That was an elite dude. He was a great college football player at Nebraska. Fantastic. But those guys were designated as one-dimensional dudes, run stoppers. They weren't pass rushers. Not at their age now. And Jordan couldn't beat them out. That's why we go, Jordan Davis is going to ball and have a great season. Again, wishful thinking, man. Until that guy shows us where he is a dominant force. Here, let me think. Will he ever be Aaron Donald? No. But could he be Fletcher Cox? I'm going to make a point to you. And I think here's his ceiling. You pray he turns out to be the best Fletcher Cox version, because what you don't want him to be is a Vince Wilfork. Not that Vince is bad. I love the guy. He's got 3 Super Bowl rings. But Vince was never a pass rusher. And he was taken down in the low 20s. Okay? Or in the late 20s. He was taken in the late 20s. Again, overdrafting. I will make this, as of right now, I think they overdrafted him. That doesn't mean he's a bust. But they overdrafted him. That's the key in drafting. Don't draft a guy who's not at that respected spot. Watch this. This is why they miss on quarterbacks. You know Will Levis? Do you want to know where he's ranked when it comes to the top players? I told you B.J. Robinson is ranked 3rd. Do you know where Will Levis is ranked? He's ranked like 19th. He's going to be taken in the top 5 picks. That's overdrafting and wishful thinking that he's going to be better than the 18th pick. You're hoping. You're hoping. Chris goes, do you think he rebounds? Chris, I don't think it has anything to do with rebounds. I think it has to do with improvement. Does he get better? I think what you saw, watch this. I think what you saw Jordan Davis is who he is. He can be a force against the run, not very good and not very skilled as a pass rusher. And he's going to have to develop into that. You have to understand. Watch this. In 6 years of football, he's got 9 sacks. 4 years or 5, is it now 5 years? In his 4 years at Georgia, he had 9 in 43 games. This year, he had none. So in 5 years, he's had 9 sacks. For Georgia, 1 NFL. It's kind of who he is. Now, better coach. Well, I don't know. Tracy was at Georgia. There's no upgrading coaching in Philly. There's no upgrade. Coached him there, Georgia. You're not getting better coaching. Now, you know what could be the issue? How do you know this new scheme doesn't benefit him? The best case scenario for Jordan Davis is that this 34 turns that guy into a ball hawk. Could that be? I'll give you guys a story here on a player that this happened to. And I kind of broached this a couple weeks ago to you. You guys, I think you even had him in your market. You guys remember Bert Grossman. Bert Grossman was drafted out of Pitt by the Chargers. His first 2 years in the NFL, he had 20 sacks. Played in a system that fit him perfectly. They changed the system. He was never the same. He was never the same. And this is where I'm going to say this to you about Sean Desai. I think it's an upgrade. I think it's an upgrade from Jonathan Gannon. And here's why. He is more of like Frank Reich, Buddy Ryan, Bud Carson, Jim Johnson. Why do I say that? Why do you think I say that Sean Desai is like Jim Johnson? Why would you think that? That I would put him in a conversation with like a Pete Carroll? Why do you think that this is an upgrade from Jonathan Gannon? This coach, he won't have great personnel. I think it's more of the same with less talent, but I hope I'm wrong. Kyle hit it. Lucius, kind of. Kyle, that's exactly correct. He's going to look like Jim Johnson would and go like this. How can I utilize Hugh Douglas? Hugh don't want to tackle. He don't want anything to do with that. He just wants to rush a passer. How can I take that player, put a defense together like Buddy did in the 46 defense? How can I get all these players in a position? And how can I make this work? Realistically, how low could Bijan fall, you think? 14? That's why I say trade down from 10 to 14 and get more picks this year in rounds 2 and 3 and you get the third best player on the board. Bijan Robinson is the third best player in the draft. And if you grab him at 14 or 15, that's the value pick. You don't need a quarterback. Jalen Hurts has done so much for this draft. They just don't really have a lot. I want to roll back to Sean Desai why it's an upgrade. He's going to take these pieces that Howie's going to give him, and he's going to put together a scheme that fits the utilizing of all their assets. He's more of that. Because what did Jonathan Gannon do? Jonathan Gannon never fixed holes. He asked Howie to. He never at any time, they couldn't stop the run. They went and got two guys. Schematically, he never fixed anything. The guy Dan Quinn in Dallas, he never went to the personnel people. They just schematically fixed their run defense. You guys have to remember when Mike Nolan was there 2 years prior, I think the Browns ran for 340 yards on them. It was one of the worst run defenses in the history of the Cowboys, if not the worst. Quinn walks in there and puts him in the middle of the pack. It was like a 15% or they went up like to 15 from 30. Okay? That's where this grade up is. Parlay goes, have you seen the picks for 2024? Grab Bijan now. Don't gamble. Parlay, I opened my program out one more time. If you want to help Jalen Hurts out, a guard, a corner, a safety, you're an offensive team. Protect him. You need him not to carry the ball. Bijan Robinson's your pick. If Jalen Carter and Will Anderson are still there, then it's a tough conversation. But the three best players in this draft this year are Jalen Carter, Will Anderson, and Bijan Robinson. Those are the highest graded players. Those three are the highest graded players. You're going to take a guy like Joey Porter Jr. at 10, who's ranked 21st, that's overdrafting. He's like 17, 18, 19, 20, somewhere down there. You overdraft at the quarterback position, not at cornerback. It's why the Eagles bomb at corner, bomb at wide receiver. The wide receiver position is turning out to be tougher to evaluate today as it is evaluating a quarterback. I mean, look at how many of these wide receivers just absolutely, it's hit or miss. I think it's got a lot to do with the signal caller you have, too, when you're building. Eagle Way, do you believe the coaches only teach technique? The bull rush only? No. I'll give you a for instance. David needs to work on technique and footage and lose some weight. Eagle Way, I'll give you, because I was coached by a guy in Detroit by the name of Lamar Leachman. And he coached Lawrence Taylor, Jim Burt, Leonard Marshall, and all those players. And you know what he would do? Every single day, Lamar would have, funny, Lamar looked like he was like Thomas Edison, had this white hair. I'll post a picture. I love this guy, man. God, he was such a great dude, Lamar Leachman, D-line coach. And what he would do is he would put these feet where your feet were on pass rushing. Boom, boom, boom. And you had to hit the footprints. And then you hit the bag and you did your hand movement. You did a rip, hands down, out, slap, down, boom, turn. Remember something. If you're going to bull rush somebody, sometimes just bull rushing like this, your hands are shorter because most old linemen got longer arms. Like Barrett Brooks has longer arms than me. And if I do this, Barrett's got me, right? But if I do this, I'm just as long as him. And you can knock them off their feet, swim, and come around. And so they teach you these techniques. Knowing full well when you get into a football game, What you end up having, you apply 20% of that. But what you do is you keep practicing that as much as you possibly can. Tracy Rocker's the D-line coach. He's a former teammate of mine. Tracy knows what he's doing. Coached at Auburn, South Carolina. Coached at Georgia. Recruited. Tracy Rocker knows what he's doing. He does. Outland Lombardi winner. You got a very good coach there. There's a reason why the Eagles kept him, because he's highly sought after. The two most sought after coaches that are in your building are Jeff Stoutland and Tracy Rocker. Tracy Rocker can get a job anywhere. He's one of the most respected guys. Him and the guy in Pittsburgh. It's funny, both those guys are my teammates. Carl Dunbar, who ran the combines, who I asked questions about the kid. I'll tell you somebody who's starting to intrigue me is Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith is starting to intrigue me. I'm watching more and more film, and every time I watch him, he really pops up, and he really flashes when you watch him on film. This kid Nolan Smith, I love the kid Branch. I do. I really like – I like the guys Devon Witherspoon, love Jalen Carter, Tyree Wilson, Bijan Robinson. I do. But this guy Nolan Smith, he's starting to flash more. When you watch film of the prospects, he's totally starting to flash more. So and plus look at where he's coached. He's coached at Georgia. What did he run at the combines? He ran some insane time. Never get around speed. Guy has speed. I mean, that's something you always want in a football player. You never want a guy with bad feet. But this kid Smith, man, the only problem I have, he's kind of like a tweener, though. But in today's NFL, a tweener's okay. A tweener is a D lineman. Can he put his hand down in the dirt? Can you play him up? Can he cover? And Tone said it right a couple weeks ago. Man, you don't have four dudes that could get out in coverage. In today's NFL, you're kind of behind the eight ball there a little bit. You got kind of a hole in the middle of your defense. Okay? Because if you can't cover all the schematic. Look at what Kansas City did. I mean, Pacheco, Schuster, Travis. These guys are all running crossing routes. If you have four down linemen, okay, that can get home, that's one thing. But if you ain't getting home, you better have four backers that can handle themselves back there in coverage. Yeah, Bleed, he's kind of similar to Reddick. He is. He's a little undersized. Do you want two dudes on your football team that are kind of undersized? Very productive. Very productive. And he's quick as shit. I mean, watch him on film. Look at his numbers. And plus his hands. See, that's to me something that you have to – I don't think Jordan Davis has very good hands. I don't think he engages with the offensive lineman very well. I think he's got to improve on that. And I guarantee you that's probably some of the reason he didn't end up beating out those guys. He stays too engaged. You got to get off those guys. Run around the block if you have to. Jerome used to tell me this all the time. Run around that guy. If he's getting to your front side and he's maybe quicker than you, then run around the backside on him. That'll slow his ass up. You got to play a chess game with some of these guys. Like a guy like Jason Kelce, you know what you got to do to a guy like that? Because he's such a good flat step guy. And what I mean by that is Jason Kelce, when he snaps that ball, instead of taking an up degree step, he takes a flat step and up. It's called slip and scoop. He's so freaking good at that step. I've never seen – I thought Kevin Mawai was good at that. Okay? I did. I thought he was very good at it, but made the Hall of Fame. But Kelce just steps up. Dude, getting up that – and he's great with his hands. Kelce must have been like an offensive player or something in his past. He must have played another position as a young dude because he's not a slughead offensive lineman. He's very athletic. Okay? He's very athletic. And he takes that flat step, gets up, scoops up on the linebacker. Dude. But what you do to a guy like that, you run around him, slow him up. Don't let him get up on that scoop on you. Offensive linemen hate one thing. They hate D linemen getting penetration in the backfield. They hate it. They just totally hate that. Steve goes, just got here. Zeke wants to play here. Hey, Steve. Steve, I'm going to write that down. We'll reset that, okay? I got to take a timeout. Zeke to Philly. Steve H. Steve, we'll hit on that. Reset. Reset from my open. I want to hit on this again, okay? By the way, I'm waiting for a text from Phil Simms. I hope we get him today. If not, we'll probably get him tomorrow. Phil's been on the program 5 or 6 times. We love Phil Simms. He's in production. Last hour of the program. Please hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.